All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the heads, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And I'm going to give peace, blessings to the brothers that's doing this work. And Shalom to the sincere sisters and hopeful elect. Let's go right into it, man. This is James 4:11. Speak not evil one another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judge of the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. And basically the point, man, is really speak not evil one another. You know, it's a little, something that's very redundant, man. You know, it's a topic that's kind of brought out, but not really brought out. You know, but it's very important that you have to be the type of guy, right, to where you don't speak evil of another brother that's in his faith doing the work, man. You know, if a brother make a mistake, if a brother fall, if a brother gets something wrong, leave it at that. You correct that brother. Depending on what the offense was, you might rebuke him or you might just correct them. It depends on what the offense is. But to sit here and speak ill and shit talk on another brother's name is a dangerous game because you don't know who is of the elect. And Yahweh Shai said that I have that scripture. I'm gonna paraphrase and I'm gonna get it. It says, "What you have done unto them, you have done unto me." Right. So you have to be very mindful about the things you say and the things you do to brothers here in this truth, man. I know we go into a lot of people that we see in the world, and we take everything with a grain of salt, though, right? But when specifically dealing with those that you know to serve the Lord, you have to have a level of, you have to have a conscience with the things you say and the things you do. You have to have a certain type of care and delicacy, right? You got to walk on eggshells, if you will. Not literally, but like when it comes to saying certain things, right? So like, for example, if you and another brother had some type of falling out, right? You guys had your own little issue, something, whatever happened. And let's just say another brother, through your experience, he was very carnal. He was very prideful, very vain, very two-faced, whatever, right? Let's just say that's the kind of personality that you picked up based off your experiences with him, right? And your interactions with him personally, right? If another brother brings him up or in a conversation in any way, shape, or form, you are not to sit here and talk shit about that brother or speak ill on that brother, especially if he's doing the work. If he's not doing the work, then it's a little different. But if he's doing the work, you cannot speak ill of that brother, right? Now, if a brother bring him up in conversation and asks you, yo, what you think about him? You can tell him how you feel, but keep it very simple. Don't call him a nigga. Don't call him a demon, a bug out. He this, he that. Just keep it very simple. And you can tell a brother, listen, based on my experience with him, this is the perception that I have of him, and you can keep it very simple. I just feel like he was very vain and very two-faced in his actions, based on the interactions and experience I have with him. But you have to make and formulate your own opinion and perception of that brother, if you get to know him or not. That's the kind of mentality and the way you have to speak when dealing with another brother. Because I've seen it happen way too many times to where there would be guys that have a falling out. And then when one of those guys are brought up in a conversation, they instantly start shit talking. Oh, he a nigga, he this, he that, he did this, he did that. And then brothers, especially predominantly the younger brothers, will just, take heed to what this guy is saying because they respect him. Oh, he this, oh, he a demon. Fuck that. But you don't know the brother from a can of paint. You don't know the situation they going through. And let's be real. Let's be honest, man. It's human nature that typically when you're talking to people and there's a falling out between people, typically what happens is you have the person who's telling the story, their side of the story is more than likely 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, going to kind of like exaggerate the story to make it fit them and make it to feel like they're in the right, not in the wrong. It happens. It's very rare that you actually see someone who will be honest and say, well, listen, man, I did this, that, and the third. So that, and he did that, and the third. He did that. So that's why we had this falling out. But that we ought to be in that spirit, though, just being very blunt, very honest, straightforward. At the end of the day, that's the mentality we ought to be in, right? So let's go over to Matthew 25, right? Let's see. So we at 40. I'm gonna get the bulk of it, right? I'm gonna just get the bulk of it. It says all right, I'm gonna start at 34. It says right at the top. So it says, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Right. And we want to be of that number. Those are the elect, the 144,000. And if we're striving to be of that number, we have to put on as the elect, right? We have to be put on as Yahweh Shai. Whenever you're doing actions and you're doing things and you're speaking, you need to be in a mentality of, all right, what would Yahweh Shai do, and how would he handle this, right? That's really a mentality that we ought to really be more fervent in. Damn, all right, how would Yahweh Shai handle this? What would Yahweh Shai do? What would he say? How would he deal with this brother? It says, for I was hungered, ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. It says, naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer and say, Lord, when saw we thee hunger and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? It says, when saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee, or when we saw thee sick in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Now, when we go through the scriptures, these set of scriptures specifically talking about positive things. And when you go into the next scriptures, talking about the negative things that you have not done. But you can look at it in this same manner, because we know that the scriptures say that with every idle word shall be brought into into judgment, roughly paraphrasing, right? So how you treat another brother and the things you say and do unto them, if they be of the least of Yahweh Shai, you're doing it unto him, man. So let that be on your mind when you're actually dealing with brothers. Like me personally, bro, I'm very circumspect, bro, when I'm dealing with other brothers. Early on in the truth, I kind of was a little wild card, if you will, but I grew and learned from the mistakes. But I was always remorseful, man. But now even more, as I'm more seasoned in the truth, I tend to be a lot more circumspect and have a better understanding of how to deal with other men that's in this faith, higher up, and younger brothers, right? So, and this goes for everybody. Younger brothers, you have respect for the elders, and the elders should ought to have respect for the younger brothers, man. Because at the end of the day, we all are seeking the same penny, right? And the Lord has a purpose for everybody. Some brothers got brought into this thing sooner than other brothers, and some brothers got brought into this thing later. At the end of the day, it doesn't make you greater or make you less than anyone else because you woken up to the truth at a later date than them. Because at the end of the day, it's the spirit that quickeneth, right? Ultimately, just as fast as the spirit came upon you, just as fast as it can go. And it's nothing for the Lord to lift up a man and make him wise and honorable and give him glory in the sight of men. It's nothing for the Lord, right? So you just got to always have that mentality. At the end of the day, the Lord controls all things. So we can't be puffed up in our own knowledge, and we can't be puffed up in our own stature, if you will. Everything is of the Lord. So whether you've been in this thing 2 years, 20 years, 10 years, have a level of humility to you. And just treat the brotherhood with respect, man. Whether you had a falling out with a brother or not, man, at the end of the day, you got to understand forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself. But specifically going into when this is specifically talking about when you're talking to other brothers, don't bad talk another brother because of your own personal experiences. If they're still in this truth doing this work, you have to, if somebody personally asks you, how do you feel about them? Of course, you can give them how you can tell them how you feel, but keep it very, very simple. You could say, but make it known like, hey, this is based on my experiences, but you are to formulate your own perception and your own opinion, right? Don't sit here and try to get in another brother's ear and feed him with information and feed him with, these different secrets and conniving words to ultimately turn a brother against another brother, man. So, and ultimately too, you could have had a falling out with a brother and that could have been months or years ago and they could have grown. Or maybe they could not have. At the end of the day, you can let a brother know, and it's up to them to how they perceive and move forward dealing with that other brother. If you let them know that, hey, listen, from my experience, he stole from me, he lied to me, I can't trust him. But that's me. You have to formulate your own perception. Now, that brother can go and deal with that other brother and his own experience, and now he might have more of a open mind, or he might be a little more on his guard because he know that this guy has a history of being covetous or two-faced or shiesty, whatever. Because it happens, right? So let's jump over right here. This is Psalms 101:5. It says, whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that have an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Right. So at the end of the day, the Lord's going to cut off anybody who just slandereth his neighbor, man. You just lying on a brother, you talking shit. You just demonizing the shit out this man. And hey, this man could have had growth and grown and learned from this mistake. And here it is, you like Esau holding this man's past over his fucking head, man. Using it against him. Being deceitful, being conniving. Now you're being the very essence of what you claim this brother to be. You're putting on the very essence of what you claim him to be, man. So, hey, in conclusion, just be mindful, man. Have an understanding and level of, listen, you got to experience with a brother, leave it at that, bro. Unless somebody directly asks you how you feel about them or what's your perception of them, then you have no reason to be discussing it with any other brother that is outside of that experience, okay? Just that simple. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Till next time, shalom.